Hey, what's going on, my friends? How are ya? Hiker Dave here with another video. I want to do a video on replying to some of the questions in my comments because it's much easier to do it this way than to type it out on my phone. And I want to read some comments and thank a lot of you for the feedback. Also, I want to start by replying to a comment to talk to this person. His name is Sihing Francis. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. If I am, I'm sure you'll let me know and probably give me the meaning on what your name means and all kinds of stuff. I'm not trying to be cruel or mean here, but I want to kind of, I want to talk about this comment that you left me. This is the second comment, possibly the third, that you've left me a long comment about how stupid I am and that this is not research, what I'm doing, and really telling me how dumb that I am and to get my head out of my ass. So I want to read this comment and I want to clear a few things up. He says, Dave, you still can't be quiet. You go out there and say you're going to be quiet and then you start yakking loud enough to be heard for miles. That's just the first sentence, and I want to say, when I first step out into the woods, I try to be quiet, to spot some woodland creatures and whatnots, maybe even spot a Bigfoot. I am not a hunter. I am not out there in camouflage gear and posting up somewhere before the sun comes up so I can see a clan of Bigfoot doing their thing for the day. I really want to make that clear to you, sir or ma'am, and to anybody else that leaves a comment on how loud I am when I'm in the forest. I do it on purpose. There's predators in my area. I'm not an idiot. I go out there armed, and I don't want to come across something on accident. Let's leave that at that for now. He continues, a deer can hear a whisper at 500 yards. There never was any spiritual significance to the American Indian of any tribe regarding the teepee except in tribal stories to teach legend stories to children. All the BS, your research, is white man speculation. The teepee has a North Pole and a South Pole and an East Pole. I appreciate you letting me in on that. I think you could have put it better, in a better way. You could, I'm just saying. So what do you suppose the teepee was for? ? Can you even figure that out? 3 question marks. At the rate you're going, I doubt it. Your mind is far too active and you can't go to zero or no thinking at all. I'll bet they even can hear you thinking. It's obvious when you're narrating you have no idea how loud you are. First of all, true, I know exactly how loud I am. I'm not trying to be so silently quiet that I don't want anything to hear me. I actually speak up in my videos so people watching can hear what I'm saying. And I don't want to be crept up on by a mountain lion or a bear. That's just how it is. I don't know, Mr. or Mrs. Francis, how often you go out into the forest. Maybe you do all the time, and you may have much more knowledge than me. Most likely you do about that. Maybe you're a hunter and you know all kinds of stuff. I want to reiterate, I'm not a hunter, nor do I want to hunt. I don't want to kill anything. That's not in my nature. But I know exactly how loud I'm being, and it's on purpose. It's to be heard. I want creatures out there to know I'm there. I'm not sneaking up on Bigfoot. That'll never, ever happen. My opinion, for me, it'll never happen. He continues, if you seriously want to find Sasquatch and know the truth about them, first learn to know yourself. You are not, capital letters, having a clue what you are like to be watched in the woods, even though you have seen yourself dozens of times by critters, even though you have seen yourself dozens of times by video. Do you pay any attention to the comment section? I bet, like Donald Trump, the only thing that you paying attention to is those that pat you on your back. That's false. I read everything, my friend. I read everything. I try to comment back to people as much as I can. I'm coming up on 6,000 subscribers, and I have a lot of comments to go through, but I do try to respond to everybody, and I definitely read all my comments. So we'll get that Donald Trump thing out of the way. Don't know why you mentioned anything about Donald Trump. But anyways, well, I apologize, he continues, having to kick you in the butt, but you need to wake up. And you frankly have your head up your ass. So I'm taking the direct route to your mind. This goes on. Forgive me, I'm just trying to... Okay. He's taking the direct route to my mind. The teepee was a compass. Its construction was also dependent upon the need to be warm. The east pole with the opening of the teepee always was welcomed the morning sun. That's not a religious practice. The teepee was for survival. It is also served as a clock, as a type of sundial. These structures have no similarity to teepees except their shape. I never said that this was any kind of, I only call it a teepee specifically because of its shape. That is exactly what I've said in prior videos. If you would listen more to what I say instead of critiquing how loud I'm speaking, you might hear in my videos that I mention I'm calling it a teepee for a lack of a better term. He goes on. About the sundial. These teepees have no similarity to teepees except their shape. Okay, the Sasquatch structures, unless they have a Walmart or a Home Depot in their neighborhood so they could buy tops, is most likely to provide a hunting blind. I'm so glad that you cleared that up for me. I would have never known that unless you just brought that to my attention. I want to say, do you think I never gave that thought? I made this video that you're commenting on, just throwing it out there. That's all. I believe a lot of these are blinds. They're certainly not for protection from the weather. That it's not a shelter. I've said that in many of my videos. So while you're critiquing my videos, you should really listen to what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you. I almost want to skip through some of this, but I really want to read the rest of this. And I apologize if it's boring, but I want to get this out there. So there's no Walmart or Home Depot, by the way, in my neighborhood. I live up in the mountains. So doesn't that make more sense? In that terrain, with such an open forest, its construction is easily covered temporarily with fresh vegetation, such as leaves, vines, pine boughs, which would hide and break up a silhouette, blah, 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 open terrain. Have you ever hunted? No, I haven't. I'm not a hunter. And that's obvious from my complete lack of knowledge. Are you forever going to be an Elmer Fudd? The American Indian covered their teepees with buffalo hides, tan deer hides, and elk hides, and moose hides. Have you ever carried a number of hides it would take to cover a teepee? Really? I really don't know anybody that I've ever met that has built a teepee, killed enough deer or hides, have enough hides to wrap it and make a teepee out of it. Maybe you are a indigenous person, Native American, then you're from you have this background and knowledge. That's awesome. Teach me. Don't teach me with these backhanded, snide comments. I really don't. I don't want to be talked to like that. I mean, I want to learn. Teach me. I'm not going to block your comments. I responded to you and told you I appreciate your feedback. But if you continuously tell me how dumb you think I am, I will block the comments, and I don't want that. I leave bad comments up, good comments. I don't pick and choose. I believe everybody has the right to comment on my videos and give me their feedback. The way that you're doing it is not constructive in any way. But I digress. Let me continue. Okay, breaking up the silhouette, open terrain. I know I've never hunted. I never had elk hides or moose hides. Have I ever carried these number of hides to cover a teepee? How do they do that? The Indians, it was to use a travois. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's a sled, I believe. Do you even know what that is? I do know what that is. That may shock you that I actually know what that is. I'm a hiker. You might forget that. Most likely, each of those 5 structures built at different times, depending on the game in the area. They were not built at different times. They were there once, and they were built within 1 week. I'm going to tell you that right now, just so you know that you might want to pull your head out of your rear end and listen to some of the things I say in my videos. Let's see. Forgive me. Do you even know what that is? Yes. Do you see any drag marks around anywhere? There's marks everywhere all over the forest floor. There would be if they had to drag a travois. Most likely each of those 5 structures built at different times. I know that they weren't. Most likely they were hunting birds like turkey, quail, grouse, and pheasant. I'm so glad you know exactly what the Bigfoot are doing. You speak of it as it is fact, when actually you have no idea what they're hunting, when they're hunting them, that they're hunting them from TP blinds or whatever. I know this for a fact because none of this is proven. Unless you have video of them hunting grouse, please send it to me. If you have video of them hunting animals, I would love to see it. The Sasquatch learned long ago how to construct from bird bones game calls. Are we sure about that? So you're telling me Sasquatch learned a long time ago to use bird bones to make bird calls? I just might as well shut my channel down now because you have all the answers. What's the name of your channel? And I'd love to hear about some of your research. Just saying. Okay. The Sasquatch learned, bird calls. The Indian accounts of the Sasquatch prove this. It's proven then. All right, I didn't realize that. Shame on me. Tribal history tells us that Sasquatch often wore necklaces of these bones, which, like the Indians, used their courting flutes. Let's see. Forgive me. Okay. The structures are built low to the ground, so the hunter can be on all fours and hide and seek to quickly pounce and strike or grab a bird that he called into the structure. Into the structure. Oh, all right. This structure is constructed in such a way that it has to exist. Sometimes it has 2 exits, sometimes 3, and can serve to trap somewhat or herd somewhat a bird or a whole flock, making it easy for 1, 2, or 3 Sasquatch to get the entire group of birds. But nowadays, in modern times, this could well be just some exercise of some Boy Scout troop. I'm calling you out on that right there. Boy Scouts leave no trace. Carry in, carry out. A Boy Scout builds a structure, they take it down. If they're with their Boy Scout troop leader, this is a well-known practice. They don't leave them up. They leave no trace. You're wrong about that one. Which I've mentioned before in my videos, if you had listened. Here's another one. One of the giveaways is such a public area. And you think you do research, really, with a question mark. I have made multiple videos on the nearness of Sasquatch and how close they are to us. The best way for them to observe us and watch us and protect their own area from being just walked up upon is to stay close to where we would be, which is trails, parks, wood lines right on roads. Just saying. And that's research that I have done and have come to have a theory of. And I know that you have no facts, just like I have no facts. So this is all theory, and I accept your theories as well. I'm not a closed-minded person. But I'll tell you right now, when it comes to anybody that says it's too close to something, I believe that you're wrong. Now he's going to go on. Here's more. Another giveaway is that you recognize it as a way to build a good fire. Oh, this is about the fire ring. That the fire pit shows some level of awareness on your part. Thank you so much that I have at least that little bit level of awareness, that you recognize it as a way to build a good fire. I never said, actually, that's a terrible way to build a fire. Taking thick sticks this big and just stacking them is a terrible way to light a fire unless you've got a bottle of gasoline. That's not theory, that's fact. So, by the way the wood is stacked ensures proper draft for a good, easy fire. Really. How many fires have you lit in the forest? I'd love to know. And if that's your method of lighting a fire, I would have to say you're going to freeze your butt off, because no one lights a fire with logs that thick just stacked in a square. Just saying. Let's see. But you ignore that it is common stack taught to Boy Scouts. Again with the Boy Scouts. You're convinced that Boy Scouts built these things when any boy, I'd be ashamed to be a Boy Scout if I ever built a structure or a teepee like that. Anyways, why in thunder do you think you keep an open mind? Question mark. Do you keep it in your pocket? Question mark. You got too many words running around in your head for that to be kept in the head. So I appreciate your feedback, S. Francis, but and please respond. I responded to you. Please keep it civil, and I'm going to do the same. Teach me. I would, if you are a have a bloodline where you are maybe Native American or teach me. Then I want to learn, but you don't teach somebody something by continuously telling them that what I'm doing is not research. Listen, I'm exploring. That's all. I observe, I write, and I report of what I see. So, Mr. S. Francis, no disrespect. I hope none. I hope it didn't come across that way. But I only speak to you the way you spoke to me in my comment section. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay. All right. Whew. All right. Let's. I want to respond to some more comments. There's another one. Q-Wave says, wow, Dave, that's a fascinating angle. You should speak to a tribe about this idea and see what they say. That would be awesome. I would love to do that. That's just time. It takes time. I'm still getting settled in and getting to know the people in the area, but that's something I would definitely like to do. David Mosher says, do an overnight in an active area. They may be nocturnal. Bring a big light and protection. You know it. And I have done an overnight there, and that was when I was with Walter and Patty, and we went out there overnight, and we had microphones and recorders set up, and we had something approach us in the middle of the night, maybe midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, that just kind of screamed at us a few times. And we had no fire or anything like that. I had flashlights. We all had protection with us. And it was a frightening experience, I have to tell you. And I'm going to see if I can add that into this video. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I made a video about it. Maybe I can reference it in the description below. Let's see. Forgive me here, I'm on the computer and I am not the best at doing this. So let me just, Ray Soliday. I'm thinking that the Eastern Woodland Indians did not use teepees. Lakota are Plains Indians. You are correct. I just didn't mention in the video that I was talking about the Lakota as well, and you are correct. I read that when I was doing the research. I neglected to put it into the video. I apologize, and you are correct, sir, Mr. Ray Halliday, or Ray Soliday. Thank you, S. Khan. Great video. Evon Ahern comments, do you ever find tridents? I have. I found a couple. These, that is, trees when just saplings are manipulated so they grow with the trunk splitting into 3 branches. The middle is thinner than the 2 outer ones. These are bowed upwards, outwards than up. Very strange and unnatural looking. Found in Colorado a lot. I have seen them. I found one once in Massachusetts, southeastern Massachusetts, a long one, straight across, propped up at about 5 or 6 feet, and it was just a trident. Really, really cool. Kenneth Robinson, did I get the package? Yes, I did, Kenneth. Thank you very much for these. I haven't got into them yet. I plan to, but I haven't. The winter's coming, and my work slows down, so I will be getting into these. Thank you very much. Beyond Boggy Creek, In Search of the Southern Sasquatch by Lyle Blackburn, and The Quantum Bigfoot, Ron Moorhead. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it, and I will get to these. I meant to thank you for that, and I just hadn't, and I am right now. Let's see. Let's go down some more here. Bama BF comments. Colorado Bigfoot has been trying to tell people about their structures for a long time. Yes. Yes, and I watch his stuff. It's very, very interesting. The size of some of the structures he finds are out of this world. I found nothing like that big. Massive, massive trees, huge X's. A lot of smaller stuff I find around here. But I am aware of that. Junwell Brantley says, take a compass with you. I always do. I always have a compass in my bag. Whether I use it or not should be the comment. Use your compass. Yes. Let's see. Jeb Baldwin, always good comments. He says, keep pushing. You know it, Jeb. Q-Wave says, do the structures tell a story of some sort? I believe they do. I wish I knew what it was. I mean, if the arrangements are very precise, maybe they form sentences and meanings, depending on how they are oriented and which direction they're facing, kind of like Native American storytelling encoded in an altered landscape of obvious placed sticks and rocks. I agree with you, Q-Wave. It's telling a story of some sort or something. I find it hard to believe that they just do it out of boredom. There's got to be a reason for it, and I wish I could find what that meaning is. And I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Let's see. GPE. Subscribe to his channel. He's got good stuff. Hi, Dave. Hope you are well. Please forgive me in advance. Might be a long comment. Pleased to see you showing the woodworks left behind. By the forest folk and Sasquatch, in my opinion. I like that. Always opinion. Because lately there are people dismissing these stick signs because no one has ever seen a Sasquatch making them. Same with the tree breaks. He continues on about different... He continues on a little bit more. No one has seen them making them, so... nobody's coming forward and claiming that they do it. I think we can all agree that hands are needed to make these manipulations. I agree with that. It may be unscientific, but Max Powers recently pointed out, if we are to go by the main evidence we all have, the Patterson-Gimlin film of Patty, the Sasquatch only walk, glance over their shoulder, and disappear into the woods. It's really a good point. When I speak of being open-minded, I say it so often, all because being open-minded doesn't mean you're going to subscribe to a certain way of thinking. Interdimensional Bigfoot. I'm open-minded to it, but it doesn't mean that that's what I believe. But I'm open-minded to the concept. I mean, who is to say? Let's see. Trying to see, I'm on the computer. Forgive me. I'm not good at it. Brown Dwarf, awesome video, brother, he says. Good to see you, Brown Dwarf. Tom Talker, 2000. This guy is he always leaves great comments, and it's appreciated. And he often comments on, he's a bird watcher, so he spends time in the woods, and he sees stuff out there as well. And he says, I know I keep saying this, but I honest to God think you have found an excellent Squatch habitat, and I don't think your theories on them using these teepee structures as something spiritual is strange at all. especially after you did your research on what it means for Native American folks in their given tribes. Personally, I've always felt that Native Americans are the best authority on the subject matter, even more so than others. And he mentioned some names. Keep up the great field work. On to something for sure. Thank you very much, Tom Talker. Always enjoy seeing his comments. Jay Ward, my buddy, as a construction worker, boilermaker. Jay Ward's a boilermaker, by the way. When rigging objects within a structure, being able to play out different scenarios, looking at it from every angle makes it easy to do the job. I believe this to be a gift for, as I'm sure you know, that not everyone has it. And, you know, rigging and structural integrity and stuff like that is right down my alley, so I understand what he's saying. Ex-Forest Ranger says, great research, Hiker Dave. Have often wondered, how did Bigfoot learn to build teepees? That's a great question. Is it programmed in their DNA, he mentions? It's a great question. He goes on and says, we know that they are a highly likelihood it is a native, we know Bigfoot mitochondrial DNA is 100% human. I'm not positive about that. And we know there is a high likelihood that it is a Native American who, like you said, built teepees. Thank you, ex-Forest Ranger. Lynn Brown, also look for tridents. Yes. Charles Williams, sure, an active area. I'm new to your videos, but could you please provide the state that you research in? Thanks. New Hampshire. I'm in New England. Right now, New Hampshire is my main focus. Prior, a couple of years before this, it was southeastern Massachusetts where I started my research. John Stucco. Great thinking video. You know it, my friend. Let's see. Hiker Dave, keep up the great work, says Big Rob 3080. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Wanda Johnston says, I don't think these are teepees. Teepees are freestanding on their own. I believe what you are showing here are shelters or blinds that they use for hunting or camo. Right on. I think that you're right. I only call them teepees, Wanda, because of just their appearance. I wish I had another name. I don't even like calling them structures. I'm not sure what to call them, so it comes out because they look like teepees. But I don't think that they're teepees either. They're not for shelter. If they're for shelter, I certainly would rather sleep under a bed of leaves than sit in one of those things. I mean, it wouldn't protect you from weather, wind, rain, nothing at all. I mean, even as a blind, it would break up your silhouette and stuff like that. But so that's why I'm not sure if there's a meaning to these other than just a blind. Definitely not a shelter. And I only say teepees because of the shape of it. Robin Lynn Griffith says, oh my gosh, timestamp 8/25. Structure is what I call fine art. Tree fine art. Absolutely gorgeous. I agree, Robin. I think these are beautiful. Some of these weaves and asterisks and ways that they manipulate some of these saplings are beautiful, and I appreciate it for just what it is. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I do find beauty in it. Thank you, Kenneth. Kenneth says another good video, Dave. Keep them coming. Lynn Brown says it isn't Mother Nature who is making the X's. Where there are bends or half moons, look for the X's. That Bigfoot. Right on. Let's see. You know, I can't stress enough to people, maybe newcomers through my videos that I'm a hiker. I love the forest. I love being in the woods. And this whole thing started for me because I like to hike through the woods. I'm not tiptoeing through the woods, trying to be so quiet that I might stumble on this amazing group of Bigfoot, you know. So try to keep that in mind when watching my videos. I am just a hiker, and I'm just observing what I'm coming across in the woods. Thank you, Art Woods, AUTWOODS. Hey, Dave, I appreciate your research a lot. Beautiful area. Thanks for sharing. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Jay Wood mentioned about those, in this comment, about those thin saplings that I saw like rubbed off, and they were high up in the air, and then the bark was completely gone after about 10 feet up. And so he comments, bucks will make a rub line in a straight line often. I have never seen a rub that high, and we have big bucks in southern Ohio. Thank you, Jay Ward. I appreciate your feedback. Alex Berry comments, great video content, Dave. Wonder if the teepees are just like their hunting blinds. That very well could be. You know, that's right up there on my theories on what these are, that they're blinds. I've seen different types of blinds as well in southeastern Massachusetts, different looking blinds where I could duck down behind it and it's right near a trail and somebody could walk right by me and would never know I'm there. So I believe that these really, it might be as simple as just hunting blinds. Jeanette Suarez, thank you, Dave. Very interesting. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. Diane Fowler says, I like your theory. I believe they could be spiritual. Nice structures. Thank you, Diane. Robin Hamill says, don't you just love being in the woods? Yes. It is healing, I think, somehow in the soul or whatever you want to call it. I believe that it heals me anyways. Somehow there's so much life, so much growth in the woods. To be among it makes me feel good. That's really the only way I can explain that. So yes, Robin, definitely. Marie Conforti says, definitely think you're onto something. Your dream opened up new possibilities and understanding. It was a weird dream. It was very brief, and that's what gave me the idea for this particular video. All of these comments, by the way, are for that one video that I just put out about the spirit of Bigfoot. Junwell Brantley comments, it might also mark a Bigfoot grave as well as to why you also find the big X as to say, don't come here. It really could be. That's why I second-guessed myself putting that X. Someone commented about the big X on the birch X. I put the birch X there. And I'm really thinking I shouldn't have. I never manipulate what I find. I very rarely touch anything. The only time I really do is if there's a tree lean or a log or a stick lean, I'll touch the base of it just to pull it up to see if it's grew there, if it's rooted. And I think I made a mistake. I don't think I should have put that X on that big boulder. But who knows? I'll never really know, you know. So thank you, Junwell Brantley. Thank you, Judith Davis. Loves to hear about my research. Keep it up. Love your area. Thank you, Judith. Patrick Nickerson. He's been around a long time. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate all your feedback. He comments, you're probably right on some kind of spiritual meaning, and they got the idea from the Indians. It's possible. That was kind of the whole idea of that video. Werner, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this name. I apologize, but I'm going to try it. Werner Dalecki. I'm sorry, probably very wrong. Comments, you may be onto something. If Sasquatch is a human offshoot rather than ape, the species could be practicing something along the same lines as a cargo cult of the Pacific. I've never heard of that, cargo cult. I'm going to have to do some research on that and look up to see what that means. And thank you very much, Vernor. JP Villo. Sorry, JP. So sorry. I butchered your last name. Sounds French. Vilou. Hey, Dave. Great video. Thanks for taking us along. So cool to watch you figure this stuff out. I know you're concerned about bear up here in New Hampshire. Did you know they can smell 2,100 times better than humans? I had no idea. I know that their sense of smell is incredible. So I'm very well aware of that. Just don't rub beef jerky on yourself and they'll avoid you 99% of the time. The only animal that will attack you is a moose. I know that about up here. I am more afraid of the moose than I am of a bear. But I think I might hear a moose coming, but I don't know. But I do realize that I should be more afraid of moose than of bear. So thank you, JP. I appreciate that. Up here in New Hampshire, JP, you say that like you live here in New Hampshire. Do you live in New Hampshire? Send me a comment. Let me know where you live. Maybe we meet up, go for a hike if you're into hiking and into this subject. Oh boy. Oh God, what am I doing? Okay. The Alicia Gregan mentioned something that I didn't even put together, that the X you found on the rocks looks very similar to the one you left on the rock with the birch trees. Never thought of it, didn't put it together until you sent me that. Thank you very much, Alicia. I didn't put that together. It does kind of, a big boulder like that, putting an X on it, but I don't, I had never hiked out in that certain spot before where I found that big X with the root ball was sticking out of one of the saplings across the rock. But very good observation. Tony Johnson, I think you're on to something, Dave. Like peeling the layers off an onion, keep searching. Thank you, Tony. That is very, very much appreciated. Thank you, Pamela Kane. Very interesting, great walk and hike. Thank you. And she thanks Josh, my nephew, for watching my back. Very important. And I'm going to talk about something else I'm in desperate need of at the end of the video. I need tech support really bad. I need to find somebody that I trust, that I can hand over some of my videos to, that can help me edit. I have stuff on my computer, an entire video that was done with me and my other nephew, Austin, who is somewhat of a director, who gave me this tripod. He's got a great DSLR camera. We made an awesome video. We followed a logging road. It's in my computer and I can't figure out how to upload it to YouTube. I can upload each clip one at a time. And I'm not doing that. I'm not making 20 videos that are each a minute and 30 seconds long. So I got to figure something out. And I'm going to get to that at the end of this video. This video was too long almost already, 20 minutes into it. Okay. John Dengler comments, cultural or religious markers, kind of like us carving our initials in trees or carving Christian crosses and things. Seems implausible. I like to watch The Dead Files with Amy Allen, a physical medium giving a glimpse of what is happening around us, and the vast number of us cannot see or even comprehend. Great point. I think that there's a lot that our mind is capable of, and I think we use just such a small amount of our capability that the possibilities are endless. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Lisa O. always comments. I like your comments, Lisa O. Great video, Dave. I'm also very curious about Sasquatch and often wonder how close they actually dwell near us. I hope someday we can learn about them learn more about them. Great video, and thank you for taking us along. We'll see you on the next one. I really think that they're very close to us. That along the lines of keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I think that we are their biggest threat, and they better keep an eye on us, or else we're just going to stumble right upon them. So I think that they stay close, they watch our comings and goings, and I think maybe to a point, I think that maybe we're their entertainment at times. At least the younger ones, I think, probably enjoy watching us in our travels as we walk around through the woods, maybe at tree lines, at parks where kids play. Hear a lot of stories about that they like to listen and watch children play and stuff like that. But thank you, Lisa O. Let's see what else we got here. James Hodgson. Hey, Dave, I mailed you for a sticker. I'm pretty sure I forgot to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Yes, you did. You did forget. I have a lot of things to respond to and stuff like that, James. Send me the self-addressed stamped envelope. That way I can sit right here in my barn, throw it in an envelope, put it right in the mail with all the rest of my stuff. It's a lot easier instead that I have to go out and get a envelope and a stamp. And not to say that that's not something I would do. I just don't have the time at the moment. So please send me the stamped self-addressed envelope, and I'll send it out. I do have a few more stickers left. Psychotic Arts Studio left a comment. Great video, tons of great sign. I'm wondering if the X you placed near the rock is some kind of sign to them that says my area or my family's area. It's a good point. It very well could be. That's why I mentioned I regret leaving that X. I probably shouldn't have done it. Also, I want to mention I received somebody sent me, I got this in the mail. All the correspondence that I've gotten from you guys, I'm saving it all. This is all the letters and stuff like that you guys have written to me. And this is from Kenneth, and he said, please reconsider the gifting. I will reconsider the gifting, Rock. I go over it in my mind often, whether I should leave something or whether I shouldn't. I don't know, but I will reconsider. Thank you, Psychotic Art Studio, for your comment. Pappy Two Bears, I love that name. Pappy Two Bears says, with the exception of the Plains tribes, there was little teepee construction used in other areas of the country. And I am aware of that. I should have wrote that. I should have mentioned that in the video. And I know that the Lakota are mainly the Plains tribe that used these teepees. He says here in the Northeast, the Wickiup, Wigwam, and Longhouse were the commonly used shelters for living in. Thank you very much. I appreciate the comment. Pappy Two Bears. Sue Gerling, always great to hear from you, Sue. I appreciate your comments. She says, hi, Dave. Could those teepees be the Sasquatch's temple to Mother Earth rather than an accommodation? And yes, I don't think that they use them as a shelter. I also had a thought. I wonder if they are a ground to sky kind of structure. So obviously the sticks that support are all touching the ground, and they all point to the sky like a prayer uplift kind of thing. Yeah, that's a good point. And again, that was kind of the basis of the video. And I think, Sue, that there's something more to it than just, a hunting blind. Although it could be, I think that it might be something like that. A temple to Mother Earth. I mean, who knows? I mean, that could be a possibility. Judith Davis says, I just be maybe more in tune with them than I think. And I think maybe I am. I don't know. I spend a lot of time out in the forest, and I think a lot of us are more in tuned to the wilderness and things that are in it than we realize. Thank you, Judith Davis, for your comment. AC says thinking outside the box is never a bad idea. Thank you, AC, and I agree. Joe Filippone. What's up, John? Sorry, John Filippone. Has been on my channel for a long time. Good to see you, John. It says, hey, brother, my girl and I donated to the Lakota tribe, Indian tribe. I definitely think the X's are maybe territorial. It really could be. He says, keep squatching, stay safe. Thank you, John. I appreciate your comments. I think that it could be. The X's territorial markers could mean don't go any further, which I ignore them because I don't know what they are, and I do go further. But I have never had I've never been attacked or anything or bluff charged or anything like that. So, but that could be possible that I mentioned before that these X's, they're not for us, or these sign. It's not for us to interpret, that there could be for other Sasquatch. And I think that's what you mean, John, that the X's are territorial markers for other Sasquatch. Thank you, Tom MMM. You're in the right spot, he says. They'll be back. Stay safe. PD10, tons of sign in that area. I see the long oval bends a lot. This area really is something. I gotta tell you. Pennsylvania Sasquatch comments, love the little A in X glyph at timestamp 1336. Thank you for the informative documentary concerning our forest friends. Thank you, Pennsylvania Sasquatch, for clicking. So, I can't read everyone, the videos. I'm more than a half an hour in. I basically want to say thank you to everybody. I'll read a couple more before I go. Joyce 87 or JL Joyce. I'm sorry, J87. She says, research tribes in areas that you've been or going to, meet with these tribal leaders and pick their minds of history with Bigfoot. Keep up the faith, much respect. I want to. I definitely want to do that. Joyce, is it? I apologize, but I think that's a great idea to get some feedback and get some information from some of these indigenous peoples that are in the area. Let's see. Oh, okay. Hiker X left a comment. I Googled that about a year ago and mentioned it on YouTube. And I'm sorry, I didn't know that you did that. Sasquatch also uses white quartz. I have heard that before. And you can find white quartz rocks around the structures on top of boulders and in and around areas with bends, leaners, and teepee structures in Colorado. I've heard that. As a matter of fact, I have come across that in southeastern Massachusetts. I found a very large teepee structure or type fort with a huge quartz boulder not far from it. And the structure was somehow destroyed. And that boulder that was like this, very large quartz boulder, was gone. I did a lot of searching for that quartz boulder after that. After I found it, the structure destroyed, and I never found that boulder. So I thought that was really odd. But I have heard that about quartz. I'm going to cut this off right about now. This video is too long. So I want to get into something else here. I am looking for... let me read this last one because this is just the last one on the list. And it was, so let me at least read this one. I'm not even going to try to say this. Gomommago. Gamamago comments. I made a post a couple days ago about the same thing, but I see you're showing us and describe these stick structures, and that is what's on my property. approximately 4-foot tall stick structures. I've seen a couple so far, one of which is at the property line and around a down fence post. Yeah, these things, if you look for it, if you keep your eyes open and you know what to look for, you'll see them. Thank you again, Gamamago. Very much appreciated. So let me get into something I want to talk about, tech support that would help my channel. So I'm having major difficulties. My problem I'm having, okay, let me back up. The app I use to edit my videos crops the screen. I hate it. I hate it, and I know that some of you that watch my videos, it's a pain. I've actually had somebody comment and say, Dave, hold your phone sideways and it will fill the screen. I know all about that, and I really appreciate that comment. I know how to hold the phone for a full screen, but the app I use, again, I'll explain, crops the side of the screen, and it's black on either side. I can't stand it. So, but the reason why I use it so consistently is because I know it. I know how to edit from that app, and I am horrible at, learning the computer. This laptop that I have, it's a Dell laptop. I absolutely love it, but I know so little about it that I'm trying. So I am in contact with Scott from Bigfoot Explorer. He helps me a ton. He showed me how to download my audio, which that video is coming up right after this one. I want you guys to hear some more audio from the recorder I left out in the woods. But he showed me how to download the audio onto my computer. Then I got an app where I now can see, that's a nice light there, but now I can see, so to speak, the audio, the spikes and things like this, right? That's awesome. It says here how to cut, paste, and move it and do all kinds of stuff here that I am just overwhelmed by it. And I can call Scott. I've got his number. And talk to him about any of this. But he's a busy guy as well, and I hate to bother him all the time. Thank you, Scott. You are the man, brother. But I need help. I need somebody that can walk me through the steps on my computer, just like Scott can do, but I hate to put everything on Scott. He's got his own channel and his own thing going on with what he's got going on, right? So, like for instance, this audio I've got, I'd love to put out on video and have you guys just, play some of the best of, so to speak, from what I've heard from the past 11 hours. I only have 5 hours left on this audio to go through, and I've picked up some really cool stuff. Nothing like that growl. Oh, I did hear another growl that lasted 28 seconds, this growl. And it's really something. But anyways, I need help. Anybody that's out there, preferably someone local that can sit over my shoulder. If someone in New Hampshire, fairly close to me, I'm willing to go halfway and meet somebody to sit down with me and show me what I need to do and to teach me. It's so important to my channel that I'm making this call, right? Or else I wouldn't. I don't have anybody in my area that can sit right next to me and say, Dave, hit this button, hit that button. Scott did it for me over the phone, and it was awesome that he was able to do that. So I'm kind of putting that out there. If you are somebody who knows how to navigate your way around a computer fairly well, that maybe we could meet up in the New Hampshire area. Like I said, I'm willing to go halfway or something like that. It would be much appreciated. I have rambled far too long in this video. And thank you again to everybody for your comments and your feedback. I really do appreciate it. And I'll definitely see you guys on the next one.